Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Talk of Fame podcast. I am Kylie Montigny, and today's guest is absolutely amazing. She is Grace Patterson. Grace caught the acting bug at 9 years old after being cast in a school theater production. She subsequently trained with the Children's Theater of Dallas, appearing in several stage productions before developing what would be later become a passion for on-screen acting. Grace has starred in multiple Lifetime movies: Cheer for Your Life, College Professor Obsession, Spring Break Nightmare, Secrets on Greek Now, and so much more. Grace most recently wrote her memoir, Am I Perfect Yet? Finding Fullness in My Authentic Self, which was released last month. Am I Perfect Yet? For Finding Fullness and Authentic Life follows the story of delving into the journey of Grace as she confronts the demons of eating disorders, including anorexia, bulimia, and a relentless pursuit of perfection. Grace's story takes its readers through the highs and lows of her life, from her time as a college cheerleader to her experiences as a semi-pro and professional cheerleader, where the pressure to conform to society's beauty standards is separated her struggles. In addition to writing her memoir, Grace enjoys acting and producing her next film with her husband, Britt, at their production company, and spending quality time with her friends and family. But thank you so much, Grace, for joining us today on the podcast. I'm
Thank you so much
really
for
so
having me.
of course. So, of course, you've been acting since you're like 9 years old, which is
Yeah.
crazy. But how did you know that you were passionate about acting at such a young age? Like, were there any particular moments or experiences that growing up that capitalized this interest?
Yeah, for sure. So I grew up like in a really small town in Texas, like basically on a farm. Like we have longhorns, we had llamas, cow, like lots of acreage. And I was kind of bored. The school I went to was like 40 minutes from my house. And so on
Oh,
weekends, my mom didn't want to drive me to all my friends lived in the city, didn't want to drive more. We were already driving 5 days a week for school. So I was kind of just bored. I'm the oldest of four siblings. So, I have a lot of kids to play with. And
mm.
so when I was 9, I was like, "Hey, can I have a camera?" And so I got one for Christmas and we kind of just started making short films and like writing. And that's kind of how it started. And then we would edit them and charge my parents like $40 to come see the films. And I would make little t-shirts that, whatever the film was called, and sell t-shirts. And so anyways, it kind of just became like what I did every weekend was make these short films with my siblings and my cousins. And yeah, it was a blast. And so that's kind of like what started the initial interest into filmmaking. I was like a big Hannah Montana fan. I love
Mhm.
Disney Channel, Nickelodeon. So obviously I watched all those shows. And after we started making our own stuff, then I was like, hey, I kind of like want to do actual acting. And my parents are like accountants, business people. They're not familiar with it at all. And my mom was like, if you can figure it out, I'll drive you where you need to be. So I was like, okay, cool. Can I have your email address login? So when I was like 10, I was impersonating my mom through email, like emailing agencies, like headshot people, like, hey, my daughter wants to be an actress, and like everything spelled wrong. It's like they're like, what? But anyways, so then I got my first agent and just kind of got into the business.
Like, the question is, did any of those people ever respond back, though?
Yeah, they did actually. That's how I got like my headshots. And my first agent was this one in Dallas, the Linicom agency.
Mm.
So it did end up working. That's how I got my first like short film I did. But my parents were like, we don't know anything about this. Like, you figure it out, girl, and we'll give you a ride. That's basically it.
Yeah,
And
you're like, girl, we'll support you, but you have to do it on your own. You're on your
yeah,
own.
yeah. They're
That's
like, we're
something
not
that I know a
stage
lot of
parents.
kids do as well, is that like they'll do whatever. Like their parents are maybe in different like industry, maybe like business, like your parents are, or a teacher or something. They're like, I don't know nothing. If you know these type of things, you do whatever you want.
Right. They were like supportive at least, but Yeah, they had no clue about any of it, so they definitely let me be hands-on. And then I had read that, like, Emma Stone, or I think it was Emma Stone, did a PowerPoint that, like, convinced her parents to move their family to Los Angeles. So
No way,
I would always
really?
do these, yeah, I always did these, like, PowerPoints, like, why I need to move to LA, but it never worked on my parents. They were like, you have literally 3 other siblings, like, we're not moving our whole family just for you, like, too bad."
That's honestly something that I personally would do is like if I want to, because I always wanted to move LA. I love LA, but
Mhm.
that is something that my younger self would do. I wouldn't do that now because I'm just know that I'm just like no matter how much I try, it's not gonna convince them no matter what. Because I'm the youngest of three siblings, so
Yeah,
of
I
course
get it.
when you have other siblings are like, this is not about you. Of course, it's if you're a single only child, of course it's very different if you're only child.
Right.
But if you have
I'm like,
other siblings, so you're like, yeah, no choice but to say no.
right. I'm like, they have some cool parents because my parents were like, yeah, the world doesn't revolve around you. No. And I was like, y'all hate me.
I'm like, I guess I'm just your least favorite child, I guess, if you guys
That,
aren't listening.
yeah, I think that could be the case.
Okay, it could be true. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if I was the least favorite child. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised. But of course, with acting and stuff, like in your experience, what kind of have you found the most like rewarding and fulfilling aspects of acting over the last couple of years?
Oh man, there's so many different things. Like, I think one, being able to explore different characters. I've been really lucky
Mhm.
um in the indie film world to play like to play a cheerleader, professional cheerleader, to play like high school, to play like a track star. I'm about to go play like a basketball star, like, and a crazy girl, and like the sweet innocent girl. I've got to like really like explore different characters,
Mhm.
which is always a fun challenge and fun to express myself emotionally, and getting to travel. Like, I shot Slaughterhouse that I did that's on Hulu. I shot that in Serbia.
Oh,
Um,
wow.
which
I'm
I
so
know,
jealous.
it was so fun. It was so fun. And then I did an indie horror film in Austria. I've done a bunch of films in Kentucky. So getting to like travel and meet new friends and people that share common passions and interests, it's been so totally rewarding. All
Mhm.
in all, yeah.
Yeah, that is something that I'm jealous of most actors is that like they get to travel to film different projects like in different countries, different
Yeah.
states. I'm like, kind of this will be you for a day, please, or this. You're like you're living my dreams. I'm a big travel
You
person,
are.
so I mean, every time someone says they went to a country that I've been dying to go to, I'm just like,
Yeah.
take me with you, please.
Take
Like
me with
what?
you.
Like, of course, with like if someone ever goes to England and you're an actor, please send me a message. Please put me in your suitcase. Like,
I'm like, come be my assistant and come with me.
yeah, exactly. I don't care if you pay me. This I
Yeah.
go for free. Just do whatever you need me to do, and I'll be there.
No, I so get it. Yeah, it is fun getting to travel. But I'm such a homebody though, to be honest with you. Like, in my free time, I don't really travel. So like whenever I am home, I'm just like, yes, like my sweatpants and hoodies. I'm
Mhm.
like a little hermit. Like, I don't want to
Yeah.
leave my cave.
Yeah, like I'm honestly the same day, like the same person. Honestly, depends on the day for me. Sometimes I'm like I want to travel, like I want to
Yeah.
do whatever, and then sometimes I'm just like I just want to stay home. Like I just want to
Bad.
stay home and do nothing. And it's like everyone, like when you're so busy, you never have that time to actually just relax and feel lazy. Like you just never have that time. But when you have an opportunity, you're just like I don't want to do anything. Even though I have to.
Yes, I call them rot days. I'm like, I just want to rot.
I know. I just wanted to sleep all day. I just want to watch like TV. I just want to do whatever I want for a day.
Totally.
So what is like your day? Now I have to ask. Like, what is your off days usually look like? Now that I have to ask.
Rotting. Literally, like, that's why I just rot days. Like, literally wake up, eat, get back in bed, eat, go back in bed,
That's honestly my
watch
days
a
at
movie.
home.
Yeah.
I just
Get
usually just
popcorn.
wake up in the afternoon, like
Yes.
go to bed late when watching TV. Wake up late, basically just watch TikToks, and then
TikTok.
eat and
Yes.
go to bed.
Yes, literally, I'll lurk on I'll go back and forth between, like, watching movies, watching TV,
Mhm.
TikTok. I do like to read also, so if I can,
Yeah.
like, read in bed, that's always fun too.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I like sometimes I'll go out for, like, a walk or something too to get some fresh air, but I really definitely enjoy just, like, total rot days, no makeup, like, hair in a big messy bun.
Yeah, like, I'm honestly on the same boat. Like, the only things I really do is sleep
Yeah,
or just reading a book or going to walk. Like, that's really the only things I would do. Like, the worst case scenario, like, I'll just do, like, sleep all day if that's the worst case scenario, or just annoy people for no reason. I'm bored.
same, gal, same, yeah, I'm definitely very like, on some of the film sets, they're like, "Grace never comes out to anything because like, on the days off, I'm just, like, in bed in the hotel room, like, watching Netflix on my TV or my laptop. I'm just like, "This is where I need to be."
I
Like,
know. Even though I want to go out, I'm just like, this is that's meant to be. This is
for
meant to be for
sure.
me right now. But you were in a bunch of Lifetime movies, which I know a Lifetime is such a big thing. I know a lot of people love it. How did the Lifetime movies like Cheer for Your Life come for your way? Like kind of get in your hands, probably the
Yeah. So I grew up in outside of Dallas, and I had been a professional cheerleader for the Dallas Stars. And so I had been auditioning though for indie films in the Dallas market. And a producer that I had gotten really close to booking one of his films, he had seen that I moved to LA and they were doing it was called Killer Cheerleader. And he was like, called me, he's like, "Hey, can you do the choreography like for the cheers for the film?" And I was like, "Hey, if you give me a role in the movie, then I'll do it." So I was just the girl that died in the first like 10 minutes of the film. And so then, but they loved my choreography. So then he said, "Hey, I have another one, Pom Pom Murders." And I was like, "Okay, I'm in, but I also want another role." So then I die in that movie too. And I did the choreography. And so, anyways, that kind of got me into the Lifetime films. And then, they like to reuse a lot of the same actors. So then, after that, I got offered Who's Killing the Cheerleaders. And then I did Cheer for Your Life. So then I started getting like lead roles, like Cheer for Your Life. I was the lead, I didn't die. But that's how I got my way into the Lifetime market. So, but I was like, don't credit me with choreographer because I don't want people calling me about that.
Yeah,
I'm
just
just going to
credit me
be in
as an actor,
Lifetime
but I
movies.
don't want people knowing that I actually choreographed this actual thing. But that is a smart move. Like when
Thank
they
you.
asked you to choreograph, you're like, if I choreograph, can you at least get me in the movie, even if it's a small part? That is actually
Right.
such a smart move.
Gotta think, gotta use you gotta use some business brains in this industry. I'm like, listen, for the right role, I'll do it. Let me know.
I know. Even if you need me for just an extra, just get me somewhere, like so I can actually get an actual role rather than just choreograph and do nothing for the rest
Right.
of my life.
It was awesome. And I love doing Lifetime films. So they're a blast.
Yeah, they are amazing. Lifetime movies. I honestly see so many like actors are they like you're right what you said earlier. Like they often use the same actors
They
for
do.
different things. Like Candice Cambray, she's been a bunch of them and
Yes.
stuff. So it's like they like honestly, it's really a reason I know Lifetime is from Candice Cambray.
Oh,
People
I
don't
love
hate me,
yes.
please. But that's probably the only reason why I know what Lifetime is. That's what kind of got me into Lifetime. But it's like, they're usually just use the same exact actors, maybe some new ones, but it's
Yeah.
like, it's so good though at the same time. Like those Christmas movies you watch around Christmas. Oh my God, it's so cute.
So cute. Yeah. I mean, my mom used to like watch, and my grandma used to watch Lifetime movies when I was growing up. So it's been really funny. Like, that was like our main girl hangout was like us getting together and watching Lifetime movies. So now it's funny that like now I'm in a bunch of them. My grandma just will watch them on repeat. I'm like, Grandma, you don't have to watch the movie 100 times. She's
Yeah,
like,
like
oh,
it's like
that's
a proud grandma moment. You're like, well, it's Lifetime. I kind of have to now since you're in it. Might as well.
I know it's really, really cute.
It is. Like, just see, like, your grandma watch you on TV tons of times. It's adorable. I understand it can get annoying. Honestly, would be annoyed too if that would happen a lot. But it's like, it's a flattering honestly to see actually people actually watching it rather than not watching it. Because everyone has to see at least one Lifetime movie in her life. So, it's great to see your grandma actually, loves that sort of thing.
So true.
But to go back, like, of course you did cheer, growing up and stuff. So, like, how long did you cheer before cheer for your life? Like, did you kind of do a couple years before, or was it pretty new for you?
I grewn up dancing, so I did like drill team and competitive dancing with like jazz, hip hop, tap. Then I danced for my college team, University of North Texas, which dance and cheer once you get to college are very similar. Like you
Mhm.
still have the pom poms, you just aren't flipping, you know, but
Yeah.
it's still basically the same. So I did that, and then I did a semi pro team, the Allen Americans, and then I did the Dallas Stars, a hockey team. So I had been like at it since I was like 4. So definitely like lots of dance and cheer experience. But when I got to LA, I kind of stopped doing that. And so, but it was cool to put, my cheerleading all those years to good use by doing so many cheerleader films.
Yeah, you have to put at least with something without like of course with a sport or cheerleading, it costs so much money to actually do that sort of thing. So it's at least you actually took advantage of that sort of thing for something like useful.
Totally. Yeah. My mom was kind of a dance mom too. So we kind of joke. I was like, all those years of you being a dance mom definitely paid off.
Yeah, I definitely did. All those years and dedication to making those like the things you have to wear and everything. I'm like, I guess it all paid off
Yes.
'cause I'm doing all the cool stuff.
Bedazzling. Yeah.
I know. Like, did you ever watch like the actual show Dance Moms?
I've seen at some episodes. Yeah. No, it's like, it's an intense world. Like they're definitely not far off.
I know. Did it literally just came out with a reunion? Like I didn't see the actual show yet. Like not the show, the reunion yet. I seen clips, but it's insane. It's literally insane. Like me and my friends or I will just watch Dance Moms growing up and it's insane. Like it's
It is.
crazy.
Yeah, people get really like competitive in that world and in that space. But yeah, I mean, it has like the pros and cons to it for sure. But I think it definitely, the pros, it taught me like hard work,
Mhm.
dedication, persistence. So I
Yeah.
think those things I've taken away to apply to the acting industry. So some good takeaways for sure. But yeah, it's an intense world.
It really is, and, like, even though I love dancing, I would absolutely hate to be in that environment, though, the way that the environment that the cast of Dance Moms were in, I'll absolutely rather, lose my mind rather than be in that environment, like, that's like, I honestly would not last a day in that environment.
Same gal, same.
But of course, in terms of like your roles and everything, you recently came out with a movie called Love's Fast Lane. Like, tell us kind of more about that.
Oh my gosh, that was my first rom-com, Love's Fast Lane, and I played Nikki Turner. But it was such a blast. So I play a mechanic in the film,
Hmm.
and kind of the gist is a video I do fixing the celebrity Chase Wheeler's car goes viral, and they want me to host this show called American Wheels, where I will talk all things cars and mechanics, and I end up falling in love with the publicist, Jeremy. Um, and I don't want to spoil the ending, but it was such a fun role because like through it, she's finding her confidence. And
Hmm.
she's not used to being in front of the camera. She's used to working in a garage. And so you get to see that development of her going from like, oh, I do have what it takes to do this. Like I'm good, with the cars, but I have the personality to host a show if I want. Like I can do it all. I can be confident in
Yeah.
myself. So it's such a cute movie and has so many good life lessons on self-confidence and
Hmm.
kind of girl power. Like, hey, you can do anything you want. But that is probably like one of my favorite movies I've ever done.
Yeah, it's definitely so good. I've seen clips of the movie. It's really so good to see someone that was kind of low in the limelight then actually being in the spotlight for doing something with celebrities, something that it's a lot to adjust overnight to
Right.
be on camera, like from being a mechanic to fixing cars, kind of being like a tomboy to being in front of the camera with people following you everywhere.
Right.
You're getting all these like social media things. That's a lot to handle overnight.
Right. And I think everyone can kind of like relate in some way to like struggling with self confidence and learning to believe in yourself. So I think, yeah, I think there's a lot people can relate to in the film.
For sure. And of course, with Nikki being a mechanic, like do you think your character Nikki would be like if she didn't fall and date the publicist?
Oh gosh. Well, I feel like it would be a lot different because I don't think she would have had that growth
Mhm,
of, he was there supporting her and pushing her to see
mhm.
something in herself that he already saw. So I mean, I think that's like the beautiful thing about love though, right? It's like it can show you sides of yourself that you didn't know were there. So
Yeah,
I do think she would have been missing out if she didn't fall in love with
yeah.
him in the film because I think that she would have stayed in her comfort zone where she felt safe. And I don't know if she would have seen that in herself without him being like, no, no, I see it in you. You have it. So yeah, I'm sure she would probably still be working in the garage.
Oh yeah, probably for sure. Like honestly, like I would lose my mind if I missed out on an opportunity with someone famous, even though I
Yeah.
might not know who they are.
Yeah.
Honestly, I'd be like, I would honestly do it in a heartbeat for some reason. Because who knows? Like, like you don't you miss opportunities you don't take. So like with
Actually, you
taking
never
an
know if you don't
opportunity,
try.
like you're living a lot of people's dreams by doing that.
Totally.
But to switch up topics, like last month you came out with a memoir called Am I Perfect Yet? Finding Fulfillment in My Authentic Self. Like, when did you kind of start dealing with an eating disorder and how did you kind of deal with it during that time? Because I know a lot of people are dealing with eating disorders, and that is honestly something that I'm dealing with a little bit is an eating disorder. So that's something that stuck out to me a little bit when I was researching. But what
Yeah.
was that like for you, and how did you deal with that?
Oh, man. It's so crazy because, like, I grew up in the 2000s where it was very much like the ideal body was like Kate Moss, like, just, like, as skinny
Yeah.
as you can be, right? And so I think that kinda started impacting me. Even I remember being, like, 10, and I had a friend that was a couple years older than me, and she was like, "Oh, we need to start, like, running in the Texas heat with, like, 3 jackets on." And so
Oh,
I was kind of like, "Oh, okay," and so, we started so it, wasn't necessarily like an eating disorder back then, but like unhealthy habits and unhealthy
mhm.
things we were doing, like running in the Texas heat with jackets on. And, then she was like, we should only eat like turkey and, like little like random things like that. Just I was influenced by like others around me. Um, yeah, so I think it kind of started early, like just the awareness of my food, other people's food,
Yeah.
and, then it's just slowly progressed, and that I think that is kind of the thing with the eating disorder. It's not like you just wake up one day and you're like, "I'm gonna start, like, being obsessed with food." It's like a
Yeah, yeah,
slow
true.
gradual thing where it's like, "Oh, maybe I'll just, like, not eat cheese, or maybe I'll just, do this," and it's like then it slowly kind of takes over because it is more about control than anything else. So it's definitely like something I struggled with. Like it started, small, and then it through a college when I was cheering, like the dance and stuff, they're very strict on you wear crop tops, you wear booty shorts. They want you to look a certain way.
Oh,
That
yeah.
yeah, that like emphasized, okay, this is right. I do need to be strict on my food, or I do need to like work out too much. And really that's just like not true, but so yeah, it was definitely like probably a decade struggle for sure. Some moments, obviously it wasn't all like that. Like some moments I would be like, oh, I'm fine. Like I'm not that weird about it. And then I was still dealing with it though.
Yeah, I feel like everyone has those moments where like they're fine in one moment and they're
Yeah.
not the best in one moment. Like honestly, I'm the type of person that loves like doesn't eat when I'm hungry. Like sometimes I'm just the type of person that loves to eat junk food when I'm hungry. I sometimes force myself not to eat because I'm
Yeah.
too busy or I'm just like focused and I can't eat because I have so much to do and I don't have time to eat. And
Right.
with that, I don't and when I do eat, it's all junk food. So it's like with having that struggle, it can be really good to actually have like that strict limit of what you look like with all the models and of course being a cheerleader and a dancer a lot of people feel that pressure of having a perfect body like some other people and seeing all these magazines with women in their bathing suits that have the
Yeah,
bodies. And it's like, I remember this scene in Full House where DJ was like trying not eating. She was only eating like creamsicles or something. And she wasn't eating and she was working out just because she wanted to look like this model that was in her room. And I'm just like,
that's so
that's
sad.
insane that
That's
someone
the thing,
would
all
wanna
women
compare
deal.
themselves.
Totally. I feel like all women deal with it to some extent on like there is an emphasis on our bodies. And so I do think, and that's kind of what encouraged me to write the book is, I had never talked about it because there is so much shame on
Yeah.
talking about it. Cause like I feel like it's like, well, it's just food. Why are you weird about food? And so it's like just this shame, but also look this certain way and, fit this clothing size and be this, but don't be weird about food. Like that, like the
Yeah.
cool girl, like drink beers and eat hamburgers, but like be a size 2. And it's like, okay, well, that's not possible. Like,
Yeah, it's not possible to actually just combine those things, like, there's no way.
yeah. Yeah, exactly. And when I started talking about it, like a lot of girls were like, "Oh yeah, I dealt with that." Or like, "Oh yeah, I did this too," or "I felt that too." And I was like, maybe there shouldn't be so much shame about talking about it. And maybe if I share my story, it can help, even just like 1 or 2 girls.
Yeah, like, either way, like, when sharing your story, it has to impact 1 or 2 people to realize, like, if this person talks about it, why can't I? Because a lot of people share the similar experiences that you have. So it's to see, like, someone speak up about it makes a lot of people think, "Oh, this is what I dealt with, but I never realized this is what it was, medically."
Totally. Yeah, yeah.
But was it, like, hard for you to share your experiences in your book?
Yeah, for sure. I think like, and also the thing with writing a book is, you don't just like write it and then it's done. Like I had to write it, then like edit it, then reformatted it. Then when I got a publisher, I would send him a draft. He would send me back a draft. So then I had to read the whole book again and edit it again, then send it back, then send it back, and then read it again. So like I think that was a hard part for me is like I started working on the book in like 2021 and it just came out in 2024. So it's been like, but in one way, it was really therapeutic to write about it. But it definitely, because I'm so far removed from who I was, like the girl that struggled like that. So it kind of was like I'm outside looking in, like, oh, that like sucks that I went through that. But and then I had to kind of relive it in a way while I was like writing it.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it definitely was hard, but it also was really therapeutic to put it into writing and to get it out to the world. Cause now it's not like on my shoulders as like, oh, this is a shame and this is a secret. This is something that hopefully can help others.
Yeah, and plus, like, with living with those memories, like, it's good to at least maybe put it on paper to let it go rather than living with that for the rest of your life. Because if you hold it in, it's just gonna make you more regretful to what you've been through, even though it's not your fault. Like, it's just something that I'll like mostly everyone that deals with that feel kind of lives with that sort of thing.
Totally. Yeah. So it was a good experience writing it.
But if people are interested in buying the book and learning more about it, how can people learn more?
So if you go to Amazon and just search Am I Perfect Yet? Grace Patterson, you can buy it on Amazon. Please leave a review if you do. And then it's on Barnes and Noble now, Thrift Books, I think Books a Million, should be on Target and Walmart.com. So if you just search on in Google, like it comes up with like different forms. It's on Kindle. I'm gonna be doing an audiobook soon too. So that will be an option. It's just not out yet, but Amazon's like probably the easiest way.
Yeah, for sure. And I hope everyone enjoyed this episode. I know for many book lovers out there, this is definitely a read, and I just bought my copy a couple days ago, so I can't wait to get that one and to read it once it gets here. But thank you everyone for tuning in, and make sure to stay tuned for next episode. But thank you so much, Grace, for joining us today. I
Thank
loved
you.
having you on, and thank you for everything you're doing and keep up with the great work.
Thank you so much.